Welcome into Outkick the Show. I am your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I hope all of you are having fantastic Fridays wherever you may be across this great country or this great land. There is so much we have to get to, but I'm fired up. Grab your popcorn and get ready for a program because I have got one coming for you like no other. Let's start right off the top with some positive sports news. The Southeastern Conference, baby. SEC. It does mean more. The entire conference is going to be back with all the football players on campus starting June the 8th, provided every school decides to do so, which I would think almost every school will decide to do. Remember when all the Corona bros out there were running around on social media talking about how there was going to be no football and sports are never going to return again and we ought to just turn the page on 2020 and everything was done? Guess who told you that we would have college football, that everything was going to be fine, that the Corona bros were wrong? The SEC is back, baby, and everybody else is going to get in line behind the SEC. I got to give props to Ohio State, Louisville, Wyoming. There's a lot of different schools out there that have made the decision to come back. Mike Gundy was right. Remember when everybody was mad at Mike Gundy because he was like, hey, we got to get guys back on campus. We can't change our lives forever because of a virus. Mike Gundy was right. Everybody was angry at him, and it ended up being the truth that Mike Gundy was correct. Greg Sankey has handled this flawlessly. Everything from his perspective, the SEC commissioner, was delivered well, and as a result, we are headed back for college football. And now the conversation is going to rapidly pivot from will there be football or not to what will it look like with fans on in the crowd, right? We're going to have tons of time to discuss this. It's actually a more complicated question, especially if they're not full stadiums. Although I have told you from the get-go, I would be 100% comfortable going to an SEC football game next weekend. I would take my kids. I would take my wife. Look, here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm doing for Memorial Day weekend, okay? Everybody gets to make their own life decisions. Mine is I have chosen not to live in fear. I am going to get on an airplane tomorrow. I am going to fly down to the beach. I am then going to go to the beach. I am then going to go out to dinner. I am then going to go to the bar and have some drinks. And hopefully I'm going to have enough drinks with my wife that I can convince her to sleep with me. All right? That is my plan for Memorial Day weekend. I hope all of you have fantastic Memorial Day weekends as well. That's what I got on tap. I'm taking off Monday. I'm taking off Tuesday from work, and I will be down at the beach. If you are a Corona bro, and you want to stay in, and you want to get underneath the covers, and you want to whimper, and you want to get on social media, and you want to cry about how the world's getting back to work, that's your right. But the rest of us with functional male genitalia are going to get back to work, Corona bros. That's where we're headed, all right? Now, there's a bunch of data out here. There's a bunch of data out here that's important. The CDC dropped a ton of data. And the data's not getting that much attention because facts often don't get very much attention in our current media environment. I want to write a book entirely focused on media failures in the coronavirus. But here is an important fact that hardly anybody is talking about. If you are under the age of 50, you are more likely to die of the flu, the seasonal flu, than you are to die of the coronavirus. Nearly 2/3 of the United States population is under the age of 50. That means nearly 2/3 of us are under the age of 50 and not in any actual danger of death from the coronavirus. Here's a stat that's going to blow your mind. In the great state of Pennsylvania, there are more people over the age of 100 who have died of the coronavirus than there are people under the age of 45 that have died of the coronavirus. I'm going to repeat that stat because it is a mind-blowing stat. There aren't that many people that are over the age of 100, right? Most of you don't know anyone, I bet, well, who is over the age of 100. Almost all of you know someone under the age of 45. Yet in the state of Pennsylvania, the entire state, big state, not a small place, there are more people who have died of the coronavirus over the age of 100 than there are under the age of 45. I saw that stat and I said, my God, this is unbelievable. There are more people over the age of 85 who have died of the coronavirus than there are under the age of 80 in the state of Pennsylvania. These stats matter because they dictate policy in an important way, and this is unbelievable to me that more people aren't talking about this. This is why we should have little leagues open. I don't know how many of you have listened to the podcast or listened to Outkick this morning, but I had Senator Toomey from Pennsylvania on. He was phenomenal. He gave us a data point here that is wild, all right? This is absolutely wild. If you look at the Little League, Little Leaguers, those under 14 years old, are more likely, are more likely by 20 times to die of the flu than they are of the coronavirus. I'm going to repeat that stat because it's a crazy one. Kids who play in Little League, kids who are younger than 14, they are more likely to die of the flu by 20 times than they are to die of the coronavirus. It's one of the most remarkable stats I've heard throughout this entire absurdity that we have found ourselves in the middle of. As if that were not enough, studies have shown that young people do not actually spread. They do not actually spread the virus to others. So everybody out there who's like, well, yeah, kids aren't in danger and people under the age of 50 aren't in danger, but kids don't actually pass it to adults. They do not actually pass it along to adults, according to studies out of Iceland and Australia. Therefore, there is no reason whatsoever why there should not be Little League Baseball going on nationwide. And frankly, a lot of southern states are opening up Little League Baseball. Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, they are all starting to open up, and we are going to get back to normalcy. Now, here's the biggest story, all right? If you want to be the hardest core corona bro on the planet, and you want to talk about how awful the coronavirus is, and you are running around with your hair on fire, do you know what the worst decision that has been made by anyone in elective office is? And it's getting a scintilla of the attention from the media that it should. Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, was so concerned about New York hospitals being overloaded based on all of these flawed metrics and models that were out there. They reported that New York was going to need 140,000 hospital beds. Remember all the focus, are there going to be enough ventilators? Are there going to be enough ventilators? And Trump was like, we're going to have tens of thousands more ventilators than we need. He was right. New York thought they were going to need 140,000 hospital beds. Donald Trump sent a naval carrier, boat, docked it in New York Harbor. Hospital. Also sent all of the Army Corps of Engineers up to New York City to build out a brand new hospital in the Javits Convention Center. Almost wasn't used at all. Cuomo was so panicked and fear porn stricken that he decided to take people who were positive for the coronavirus that were otherwise in nursing homes, and he sent 4,300 plus positives, people who were coronavirus positive, back into nursing homes. That was like pouring gasoline on a raging fire. You want to know why New York has so many deaths? It's because Andrew Cuomo panicked and sent everybody back into the nursing homes, which allowed those nursing homes to rack up tons of deaths. This is an unmitigated disaster. In the state of Pennsylvania, this idiot Governor Wolf, he did the same thing. It's why over 70% of all the deaths in Pennsylvania are in nursing homes. Minnesota, same thing. Michigan, same thing. All of these idiot governors followed the lead of Andrew Cuomo because they were convinced their hospitals were going to be overloaded. They sent all of the coronavirus patients, New Jersey as well, into the nursing homes. And as a result, the death rate skyrocketed in those states because really the only people dying of the coronavirus from a statistical perspective that is noticeable, i.e. that are not outliers, are incredibly old people. This is an unmitigated disaster. And most in the media are not paying attention to it at all. I give the AP credit. Go check my Twitter feed at Clay Travis. Go read about it. Check it out. Look at the real facts. Instead of covering the governors who've been a disaster, if you question the power of the media, Andrew Cuomo has an 80% approval rate, despite the fact that objectively, I think it's very likely that he made the worst single decision that a governor has made in generations leading a state that led to tens of thousands of deaths. Objectively, that is likely to have occurred. And a guy like Ron DeSantis and Brian Kemp and Abbott down in Texas and Bill Lee in Tennessee and Stitt in Oklahoma are all getting ripped to the high heavens for opening their states up, even though they were smart enough not to send coronavirus positive patients back into nursing homes. The media, I'm telling you, this has been, like Elon Musk said, a red pill moment for many people. The media is filled very often with lies. They don't call it fairly. They don't even apply evenly the rules. You may hate me. You may think that I'm an awful human being. You may even think I have bad hair. But what I will always pledge to you is I get my facts right. Okay? And if you don't know the difference between a fact and an opinion, it's an important one. I can give you this opinion. Tom Brady is not going to win the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay this year. That will be based on these facts. Even though he went to 9 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots, I don't think he's going to go to the Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You can agree or disagree with my opinion, which is Tom Brady's not going to win the Super Bowl this year. But you understand that it is built on facts that you cannot argue about, which is Tom Brady went to 9 Super Bowls. If I told you that I believed Tom Brady was not going to win the Super Bowl this year because he had never been to the Super Bowl before, you might agree with my conclusion, but that would only be because you already agreed with me. The factual analysis upon which it's based would be wrong. I am desperately committed to the fact that I am going to share the right facts with you as they become apparent. Sometimes facts are wrong, right? We find out that we thought things were factual and they weren't. For instance, the WHO in China in the coronavirus lied. You can criticize me for this. I believed their lies and used them to form my opinions. But as soon as their lies became clear, I came to all of you and I said, you know what? I got this wrong. I relied on information which was not factually accurate. I'm going to change my opinion now. That's what adults do. If I get a fact wrong, I come to you and I admit it. I correct it. I do not ever want to get a fact wrong. Some of my opinions, many of my opinions even, may end up being incorrect, but what matters to me is that there is a solid foundation of factual basis in order for me to be able to get things right. And what I see now is there is no foundational, factual importance. I think you can say this about Republicans, Democrats. I think social media has made it worse, period. I'm not trying to cast stones in any particular direction, but the fear porn purveyors don't care about facts. They care about terrifying you. Because people who are terrified are easy to lead, and that's actually what's terrifying to me. Drives me crazy. Couple of other things. Fauci, Dr. Fauci, has now come out and said on CNBC there will be irreparable harm if we stay closed for too long. This means that Dr. Fauci now has made an argument on every single level of every single different debate ever discussed surrounding the coronavirus. We didn't have anything to worry about. We did. We didn't need to wear masks. Now we need to wear masks. We can't open too soon, but now we have to be concerned about whether or not we do irreparable harm. This guy's supposed to be completely nonpartisan and allowing the facts and the data to govern, and he's literally argued every side of every different issue imaginable under the sun. It's flat out inconceivable how bad he has been at this. Tiger versus Phil is going on Memorial Day weekend. Two things that I think are really cool. Everybody can only use one club on the fifth hole. It's a par 4. That's going to be pretty awesome to watch on Sunday. I'm excited to see it. Every other shot on the back 9, which means Tiger has to use Peyton's shots and Phil has to use Brady's shots. That is going to be pretty outstanding, I believe. I cannot wait to see what happens. Props to Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Peyton Manning, and also to Tom Brady. I am on Tiger Woods getting revenge on his home golf course and finding a way alongside of Peyton Manning to win. I think it's going to come down to who's better between Peyton Manning and Brady, and I think Peyton Manning is going to be better. Universal Studios in Orlando is opening. Universal Studios in Orlando is opening on June 5th. It won't be very long until we get Disney World back open in the state of Florida. Ron DeSantis has done a fantastic job. Universal Studios opening up will be really cool. Disney World opening back up will be outstanding. State of California wants you to know that they also want to bring back amusement parks, and that's why they're proud to announce that in the fall of 2038, they will be bringing back amusement parks in the state of California. So those of you who are in California have something exciting to look forward to. Final. We are headed into Memorial Day weekend. I want all of you to have fantastic Memorial Day weekends. I want you to go out, be fruitful, and prosper. I want you to have drinks. I want you to eat, drink, and be merry. I want you to go to the beach. I want you to go to the pool. I want you to socialize. I want you to circulate. I want you to return to normalcy. It's what I'm doing. I'm getting on an airplane. I'm flying to Florida. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to restaurants. I will be out and about everywhere. It's what America is built on, is the idea of freedom and free circulation and being out and about having an amazing time. I am living the advice that I am telling you to follow, especially if you are under the age of 50. You don't ever shut yourself up in your house over the flu. Why in the world would you do it over the coronavirus when it has a lower chance of actually killing you? Have great Memorial Day weekends. And I want to tell you this, okay? A couple of other things. Remember in China, all of the protesters at Hong Kong and how the NBA and Steve Kerr and LeBron James and Greg Popovich and all the woke NBA players who were supposedly social justice warriors, they refused to stand up for the Hong Kong protesters. What has happened in Hong Kong since then? China now is threatening to put pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong in jail for 5 years. If you don't respect the Chinese national anthem, you can go to jail for 3 years. 3 years for being out there and having the gall to not respect the national anthem. 5 years for protesting. Steve Kerr said it was a really complicated situation and he couldn't take a side. This is easy, all right? Always be on the side of democracy. The social justice warriors are not able to do so. This is utterly ridiculous that the NBA made the decision that they did. Finally, there's a lot of fear porn out there. I want to give you something positive as we finish off the show. My dad, 75 years old. How did he respond to the coronavirus? He's lost nearly 40 pounds and he's exercising an hour every day. He decided to take it into his own hands to get as healthy as he possibly could. The best way to combat the coronavirus is not by locking yourself up in your house and never exiting again. It's to get your ass in shape and take control of your own health instead of burying yourself under the covers and worrying about something you can't control, which is a virus that you can't see. Imagine the reaction in America if instead of peddling fear porn and the idea that everybody was going to die, if the media and our politicians had come out and said, this should be a big moment of choice for Americans across the country. If you are obese, if you are out of shape, it's time to get into shape. Obesity is one of the leading factors in whether or not you will die if you get the coronavirus. Exercise, eat more healthy. Instead of going out and standing in line to buy toilet paper, get your ass in shape. That is the true significance of the coronavirus. We could have used this as an opportunity to tell the nation how to get healthy. Instead, we used it as an opportunity to terrify everyone about a fear that was unlikely to become a reality. Props to my dad. I love him very much. He's 75 years old. Happy Memorial Day to him. And to all of you out there, I'm headed to the beach. I hope all of you have a fantastic weekend. Live your lives. Leave your house. Circulate. Be social. Spend your money. Let's get this economy back up and running again. That's the truly brave thing to do. Kisses, DBAP, unless you need to SBAP. I'll see you guys. Bye. Thank you, Facebook. Love you guys.